Hi, Scorpio. It's your girl Alex, and I'm back to bring you more fabulous messages from the universe. As if. God, angels, universe, can you please bless Scorpio with some great info? We love you. We thank you. Amen poo. Amen poo. All right, God. Three of Wands. Feel like you're looking for signs from the universe. Look at all that orange and rust color pattern. You're looking for some guidance. Look at all those swords. This looks like you're needing convincing. Okay? I feel like, okay, so, oh, this is a big message. I'm just getting a bunch of energy. I feel like for many of you, it's almost like you just want somebody to tell you what to do, where to go, how to be, what's next. I don't think you realize how much you've been through, Scorpio, right? Now, from Scorpio to Scorpio, I could be like, my dude, I had to move like 2 mountains this year. And you may say back to me, I know, right? Like I lifted up 4 cars and moved 8 buildings. And Scorpio to Scorpio, we're like, word, right? But to like a Gemini, it's like, what you mean you moved 2 mountains? I can't even pick up a nickel, right? So that's the message I'm getting. I don't feel like a lot of you know how much you've been through, especially mentally, okay? And yeah, look, I was going to say, and you need to rest. You need, I don't know who I'm talking to. You need to chill out. Scorpio, I always say you could take like what is it, Timex? You take a licking and keep on ticking. You got the Ten of Swords sitting in the middle, kind of, right? The first half of this reading. I feel like, Scorpio, you're walking around wounded, right? But angels just said, when is Scorpio not walking around wounded? We get fucked over so much that it's like we are numb to it. Scorpio, I think you need to take some time out and decompress. I don't know what this is that you've been through, but it's almost like you're like, okay, swipe left. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going. And the universe is like, okay, you all right? Like, you just kind of experience some sort of tower or C4 or, right, some sort of explosive situation. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to put them all out. Yeah. Some swords. You see how those swords are clustered in like one spot? You got the 4 swords here. Ace of Cups, 8 of Pentacles. Okay. All right. This is not represented in the cards, but I hear Stephanie Mills in my ear, right? Her song Home from The Wiz, or The Wizard of Oz for some other people. Well, her song was from The Wiz. And I feel like telling you, Scorpio, you need to go home, right? And that to me kind of feels like your nesting place, resting place. Now, I know a couple of readings back, angels are like, you need to get out the house. But I don't think this is resonating with the same group of Scorpios. You're looking for your next opportunity. But I feel like the last opportunity you just came from, you got very disappointed at how very closed off somebody was. And I feel like you want to start over, but you're still looking back. I feel like you're wounded, Scorpio. The Ten of Swords with the High Priestess. You know how you see those medical shows? I'm a Grey's Anatomy junkie. Always have been, always will be. Even though Shonda Rhimes' stinking ass is always killing off characters. Spoiler alert, right? Favorite beloved characters. Anyway, the High Priestess and the Ten of Swords, you know how they wheel you into the emergency room and they put the sonogram on your stomach and they're like, hey, there's internal bleeding. So to an extent, you may not have cuts and blood and, an open wound and blood coming out. But I kind of feel like there is a hidden something in your energy field that needs dressing and addressing. It kind of has to do, now watch this, 2 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords is here. 7 and 1 is 8. And here's 9, right? So we have 7, 8, 9. Oh, this is 10. Okay, 7, 8, 10. And then we got 4 of it. Okay, 4 and 5. All right, we ain't going to do all that. Yeah, this is true Scorpio fashion. And y'all know I'm Scorpio Sun and Venus, right? If you don't, surprise. Not really. Um, Scorpio, you are very intense. Y'all remember in Rambo, for those of you who are that old or young, remember how in Rambo when he cut himself, he sewed himself up, right? That's typical Scorpio. You get wounded and you will hurt yourself to care for the wound, right? But this is a wound I feel like you don't see. Okay? And I'm getting emotional all of a sudden and I don't know why. I feel like the King of Swords and the Page of Wands feels like a discussion, argument, interaction you had with someone, right? This is Aquarius, this is Sagittarius. And Aquarians are very sentimental, but they're air signs. So they live in their head. They're all about intelligence, logic, information, communication. The Page of Wands is action, immature action, passive aggressiveness, nitpicking, pettiness, right? And I feel like this is the person who, I'm not going to say this is the person who caused all of those swords to be in your back. I feel like this is the person who is supposed to bring you over the hump to get these swords off of your back, right? It's almost like God sent this catalyst. Again, could be Sag, could be Cancer. Angels just said Taurus. Don't ask. Taurus is not even here, but angels said Taurus, right? I kind of feel like somebody got up under your skin and you're trying to act like they didn't, but they did, and whatever they did cut you deep. I hope that makes sense. And I feel like you guys are trying to race forward, get over it, get through it, get past it really fast, but the universe is like, whoa, take your time. And typically when the universe does that, it's because there is a hidden gem that will help you heal. I see the 2 aces. Some of you could be traveling to visit someone you love. Someone could be traveling to visit you that they love. Someone or something has been racing through your mind. You know how, like, I'm always saying to people, hey, find a healthy distraction. I feel like you're taking that advice is right here. The 2 of Swords, 5 of Swords. It's like, yo, let me block it out. Let me act like, I really don't give a fuck and let me walk away. But it's hard for you to walk away because you don't right now have an understanding as far as why something happened. It feels like it could be related to your dad. Now, my angels just gave me all that information, and now I'm supposed to make it make sense. Okay. All right. This is going to be I don't have the example in totality, so I'm going to make it up as I go along. Okay. Say, for instance, you buy a vehicle from a dealer, and you take the vehicle home, and in the past, your dad would go with you to buy vehicles, but your dad has passed away. Okay. So you take the vehicle home, and there are issues with the vehicle, or you get into an accident or something breaks on the vehicle. Say you blow out a tire. Take it back to the dealer. You get the tire repaired, and your tire tech is like, hey, it was your wheel bearing. When you purchased it from the dealer, they should have really took care of this, blah, blah, blah. So you go back to the dealer and you talk to the guy who sold you the car, and you let him know, hey, here's what happened, ABCD. Now the dealer that you took it back to now becomes your advocate. Now goes to the service manager, go to parts, like, listen, basically the dealer starts acting like your dad. Okay. And you could break down at the dealership, right? Because you didn't realize how much you're missing your dad. That's what, in totality, first of all, angels, high five. Thank you very much. Because I winged that one. I know, again, in totality, how to convey the example. But it kind of feels like you've been through something, and someone triggered the fact that there's a connection with your dad who might have passed on, or you're estranged, you don't talk to them, you may never have met your dad. Angels just said here too, three of wands with the Ace of Pentacles. For many of you, whatever this situation is may have something to do with your current identity. Angel said, shout out to anybody and everybody who's been adopted, right? Because this could be, after all these years, maybe you're 30, right? 31. And all of these years, you're like, hey, I want to find my birth parents. Only to find out, maybe your birth parents were criminals or live right down the street from you, right? It kind of feels like you are experiencing or have experienced something that was very disappointing. It triggered your inner child, pointing back to your dad. Angels just said also too, your protector, right? And it feels like the universe, by way of your intuition, is trying to lead you back to a wound. I don't know if this wound is repressed. I don't have the moon here. I do have the high priestess here. I don't have the moon, but Two of Swords, I think is enough, angels, to call this repressed, right? Something you left. It's like, it's a touchy subject. It's like, no, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to go there. Whew. Now I'm going to tell y'all, that one there, I had a lump in my throat, and I know y'all could hear it. And by the way, no, this reading is not resonating with me. My dad wasn't a huge advocate. He was barely a protector, but he was very gallant and charismatic. People loved him. He had an incredible personality. But he never really kind of came to my aid and was there to walk me through definitely not buying my first car. He was dead by the time I got my first car. Seven of Wands. So now we have the Seven of Wands with the Three of Wands separated by the Ace of Wands. Sorry, Ace of Pentacles. Scorpio, there's a lump stuck in your energy field that the universe is trying to highlight to get cleared out and cleared away. Now, my angels are pointing to my dad with the Four of Swords and the Nine of Wands, because my dad was in and out, off and on. He was there growing up. He was just never emotionally available, right? He definitely was in and out. And look at that tower. Look at that. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a hidden... It's funny to me, and I'm sorry for the chitter chatter. It's funny to me how old wounds and trauma will sneak up on you, right? As in, you're going through life. Everything is great. You're good. You did an amazing amount of healing. And now you're just kind of living life. And then the universe is like, universe comes in and body slams you like, oh, hey, by the way, when you were 5, right? And you're like, what the fuck just happened? I know. This is the Ace of Swords. Yeah, the universe is trying to bring something to your attention. It looks like another round of healing. Remember, we're in Libra season. Libra season is all about balance, right? So whatever's weighing you down, the universe is trying to get rid of that weight to bring you back into balance. Judgment. Ace of Pentacles. You know, by the way, sidebar, my own personal situation, and from now on, I'm just opening up. In my own personal situation, the horrible thing is that my mother is a narcissist, and she lies, and she makes stuff up. As I push the Page of Wands, my mother's moon is in Sagittarius. That's a tough position for Sagittarius to be in. But anyway, the horrible thing is that my mom is still living, but I cannot talk to my mom about my dad and get real life, true blue information because she's going to start talking about him where she's the hero in every last story. And I told him to do this and he didn't listen to me and I was the one. That's my mom. Leave me a comment if you know, we have a great relationship. I just can't talk to her about real shit. Leave me a comment if you can relate to that with your mom specifically. So we have the Knight of Wands here. We have the High Priestess. And we have the Knight of Swords. And my microphone wire is here. And then you got Scorpio in the cut. King of Cups. Angels just also said to me too, although I don't have the Empress here, this could also relate to any of you who went through any sort of custody battle, right? Your mom and dad despised each other, or they were like oil and freaking, milk. You know what I mean? They were just so freaking different. Yeah, you're having racing thoughts. I feel like the Four of Swords is rest, Nine of Wands is quick action, and the King of Cups is love, right? For a lot of you, you could be having, I don't want to say anxiety, angels. Uneasiness. Okay, I'll accept that. Uneasiness, my angels also said stress. So we got the Ace of Swords, Two of Swords, no 3, 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords, no 6, 7, thank Jesus, no 8 or 9, and the 10 of Swords. Sprinkled throughout your reading. Did I see the Queen of Swords? Thank you, Moses. No, but I got the King. Okay, so you got a lot of swords in this reading. Swords represent communication, information, thought, right? Language, signaling, any method we use to convey thoughts, feelings, or emotions, right? Okay. For some of you, if you do have the type of, say your dad was absent growing up, and you do have a mother who you can ask information about your dad, I feel like there's a hidden gem here, right? As in, oh my God, that's amazing. God, my universe works so quick. So what my angel said for some of you, all right, now we're talking about a different group of Scorpios, or maybe the same group, I don't know. You could discover a hidden gem about your dad who was estranged, emotionally unavailable, but that hidden gem is gnawing at you, trying to get you to do. So as an example, your dad was a car dealership and you're thinking about opening up a fleet of cars or buying some cars and renting them out, right? You can discover this hidden nugget that brings you closer to your dad, who he was beyond the inner child stuff, beyond the emotional unavailability, beyond the absentee, right? Beyond that, it's almost like you can discover something about your dad that is in you. Oh, now I see why I love cars so much, because my dad was a dealer, and his dad was a dealer, or his dad, right? You could discover, I think that's what that Ace of Pentacles is. That Ace of Pentacles is you discovering something that's in you that could also make you money, right? Or make you rich, or make you open your business, right? You can understand your lineage and how it holds value in your life. Now, this is something I need to mention to you, dark Scorpio, deep dark Scorpio, okay? We have to practice forgiveness, okay? You can't stay out of balance. Look at the camera just shook. You can't stay out of balance. The universe, that's not the universe I live in. So we have to practice forgiveness. Like, hey, I get it. My dad was a person too. He had his own worries and stress and trauma and stuff like that. And, by the time I was born, of course, he may not have known how to be a father to me because of what he went through and what my mother put him through and blah, 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 right? We have to learn how to humanize the people who brought us such trauma, okay? I don't care what kind of trauma it is. Now, I will say to you, not all traumas are created equal. Some of y'all need a practitioner to help you unpack that trauma. So if your trauma has anything to do with PTSD or CPTSD or anxiety or panic attacks or whatever, go see a licensed professional and help them, allow them to help you unpack your wounds. Okay? But what I'm saying is, in my universe, those wounds need to be unpacked and healed and medicated and, I'm not going to say brand new again, but solid, closed off, closed up, right? Because the universe is saying, hey, yeah, if I have a cut in my hand and I'm a chef, oh, fuck no, I can't be working with a cut in my hand, especially if over the years I'm picking at it. Now it's infected. It has no chance of healing. We got to get better at healing our fucking wounds. Sorry, now I'm getting triggered, right? Because it was Adele in one of her songs. She's like, I bleed on everybody else. So if the original person who caused you trauma broke this skin, right? It's your fault and your responsibility not to bleed all over your life. Oh, Lord, I am preaching a sermon. I need a minute because I am charged. Okay? These are daddy wounds. I can tell you that because I got the Emperor right there, and Emperor's the daddy. Okay? These are daddy wounds. Something from when you were a young child disappointed you. And the Ace of Swords is clarity. You need to understand why. If your dad left your mom when you were a kid, talk to your mom and ask her, Mom, what happened? Right? And I pray with everything that I am, Scorpio, that you have a family member. If it's not your mom, it's your aunt, it's your dad's brother. It's someone who knows the truth. I have the Ace of Swords here. I have the Ace of Swords here. Seven of Swords is looking back at the fucked up past, right? Being highly focused on the fucked up past, but trying to live life, trying to move on, try to move away from it. Seven of Swords absolutely is self-sabotage, right? Because there's something, Seven of Swords next to the Five of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, there's absolutely something about your past. It's almost like you got the fucked up version or the lying version of the situation, of the trauma, and that's the version you've been carrying with you all through your life. And if you go back and do your due diligence, you'll find out, holy fuck, that is not what happened. Judgment. Is that judgment? Judgment. Right? So it's almost like some of you have been judging your fathers all of these years on some bullshit. Sorry. Ten of Swords, High Priestess, Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a hidden wound And once you clear it, then the rewards of the universe come in. There is a universal law, right, that says it's the law of compensation. And that just basically means when you pass the test, the universe gives you a gold star. Okay? The Queen of Pentacles is the epitome of emotional security, right? Emotional integrity, right? Emotional honesty and trust, right? I feel like whatever it is that you clear up is going to bring your heart specifically back into balance. Okay? There's something that you've been denying about some sort of Knight of Wands activity or somebody who was in and out of your life off and on. For some of you, this could be your dad. Some of you, it could be your husband. Some of it could be your brother, right? You could be the father, right? You could be the male. It could be your dad. It could be you as a husband. It could be you as a brother. It doesn't, I try to stay away from gender, but I feel strongly because I have the King of Swords, I have the King of Cups, I have the Emperor here, and I got the Queen of Pentacles, right? It could be your dad. You could find out from your uncle. Your dad had 2 brothers. You know what I mean? This is Sagittarius. This is Aquarius, Sagittarius, and this is Cancer, right? High Priestess is Cancer. Okay? So there could be an Aquarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon or Venus, and a Cancer rising. I feel like that's the person who's holding the information and who's holding your truth. And once you figure this out, you're going to be able to move on and open up your heart. Well, holy hell. This is a good freaking reading. Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, King of Swords, Ace of Cups, King of Cups. So this has everything to do with your value, why you feel insecure, why you're always disappointed or hurt, easily disappointed or hurt, why you feel you're always in a victim mode, why you feel left out, why you feel nobody wants to fuck with you, why you're so passive aggressive. The root of all of this is with your dad. Angel, yeah, definitely. My angel said, "Oh, karmic debt," right? This is something that went on in your dad's life that affected you. He handed it off to you. Now you're walking around with your dad's wounds. That is a karmic debt. You're walking around, it doesn't have to be your dad, it could be your mom, right? Your dad left your mom because your mom was a fucking maniac. She tried to kill him, right? You might have never known until now. So Scorpio, baby, again, I am not in the business of re-triggering, re-traumatizing anybody. No. If you are not strong enough to handle this truth, don't fucking go looking for it, okay? But you need to go figure out what debts you're carrying from your dad. Oh yeah, but no, personal readings are closed. I do have a breaking karmic cycles, right? But I'm taking care of me right now. So if this one resonates, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Talk to your therapist, talk to your mom, talk to your grandma, talk to your dad's mom if she's still alive, your dad's brothers and sisters if they're still alive. Talk to them to get down to the root of whatever karmic debt your dad handed to you. You need to figure out his story and why that debt was handed. We know why the debt was handed to us, right? Because you're his heir, okay? Male or female, no gender, right? But it came directly from your dad to you. So now to heal it and to release it from you, it's almost like pulling, it's like you have a splinter from your dad, and now to remove the splinter, you have to understand things about your dad in order to know where to go to release the splinter. I hope this makes sense. Anyway, I love you. Leave me a comment. Talk to me if you, maybe for Scorpio season, I'll do like a private reading session where people can pay like a one-time charge and ask unlimited questions, you know. The difference between me going live and doing that is that scroll, and I'm one person and I'm getting older, and people will be asking shit and asking shit and asking shit, and it'll be scrolling. However, with the private Zoom session, we're one-on-one. Okay. Maybe I'll open up Zoom sessions for Scorpio season at a discounted rate. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I love y'all. Bye.